in engineering or technical applications, it's important to talk about significant figures. Now, significant figures are completely different than place value. And we're often used to rounding to place value, like round to the nearest hundredth or round to the nearest 10 or something like that. But significant figures is completely different than that. It's counting the digits that are significant in the way that that particular measurement was taken. And we need to follow the specifics about when a figure is considered significant in order to use that way of rounding. So for significant figures, in general, any non-zero digit is significant. So as long as a digit is not a zero, it's considered significant. Zeros are the things that you have to just kind of see what the situation is with it. Now, if you have a zero that's between significant digits, it has to be counted as significant. The next thing is that if you have a zero that's to the right of both, it's got to be to the right of both, the decimal point and a significant digit, then it's considered significant. All of the other zeros are not considered significant unless there's some sort of marking that indicates that they are. So let's look at these two examples. The first one is just to count how many significant figures a number has. So how many significant figures are in the following? So when I look at this first number, here's my decimal point. The digit that's to the left of the decimal point is 0. That's not significant. This 0 is to the right of the decimal, but there's not to the right of a significant digit. So that's not significant either, nor is that 0. Now when I get to 4, 4 is not a 0, so that's considered significant. 5 is considered significant, 7 is considered significant, so we can kind of mark those. The 0 that's between significant figures is significant. So this 0 between the 4 and the 5 is considered significant, and this 0 between the 5 and the 7 is considered significant. That leads us to this last 0, and this 0 is to the right of both the decimal point and significant figures, so it's considered significant. So when I count these all up, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 significant figures in that number. Let's look at the next one, 53,700. Now here, 5's not a 0, so that's significant. 3's not a 0, so that's significant. 7's not a 0, so that's significant. So the 5, 3, and 7 are significant. These two zeros are not either of these cases where the zeros are considered significant. They're not between significant digits, and they're not to the right of both a decimal and a significant figure, so they're not considered significant. So here I just have 3 significant figures in that particular number. Okay, here 4.02070. So 4, 2, and 7 are not zeros, so they're significant. The zeros between significant figures are considered significant. And any 0 that's to the right of both a decimal point and a 0, any 0 that's to the right of both a decimal point and a significant figure is significant. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 significant figures there. How about if they give us a number and they want us to round to a specific number of significant figures? So let's say we have this 70,954.32, and I'm supposed to round it to 2 significant figures. So as I come across, this would be my first significant figure, and then the second one would be as we're looking from right to left. As we're looking from left to right. Now I need to round to that place value, so I just look at the number to the right of it, and that number is a 9. So when I round for that, I'm going to bump this up 1 and then keep the place values after that. So 2 significant figures, 70,954.32 would be 71,000. How about if I'm back to this same original number and I want to round to 4 significant figures. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 is where I have that I want to round to. The next digit after that is a 4 or less, so I just drop that off. I have 70,950. So I would just replace that with a 0. Now this has 4 significant figures. Remember, because any non-digit number is significant. Any 0 between zero digits is significant. But this last 0 is not, because it's not both to the right of a decimal point and a significant figure, nor is it between significant figures.